Hello and welcome to The Agenda on Dominion Brokers Group. I am Chike Obogu. On the agenda this morning, as Nigeria's political class begins the long march towards the 2027 general elections, the ruling All Progressives Congress faces mounting public discontent, an economic understrain, and a restless electorate. Yet, the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, the country's main opposition, remains strikingly unprepared to capitalize. Maybe. Instead, it is once again consumed by its oldest adversary, and that adversary is itself. More than 8 years after its stunning fall from power in 2015, the PDP continues to lurk between internal crisis and missed opportunities. The major question now confronting Nigeria's oldest modern political machine is not who will lead the party into 2027, but if anyone can save it from itself. Well, joining me this morning, John Izuchukwu, in-house brokers, Dominion Brokers Group analyst. Good morning, John. It's good to have you on the agenda this morning.
Good morning, Chike. I'm always glad to be here.
Well, many stories moving on with the PDP at the moment. Over the weekend, you heard Fubara speak yesterday. He spoke in a church saying that who says his spirit is still in the government house in Rivers State. Well, sometimes you say power intoxicates, but for him, some will say it's not about power. Fubara seemed to be a baby politician. He has not grown into the political hemisphere of the Nigerian state at the moment. What's your thought on Fubara's speech yesterday in church? Or was it frivolous? Was it a loose talk?
Yes, well, I think that I see it from a different perspective.
Okay.
I'm thinking that Fubara, even though I've alluded to the fact that he has not been very mature in the way he had approached this political scenario that played out in Rivers State, because politics in Nigeria is for mafians. It's not for good people. I mean, it's not for very nice guy who just goes about shaking everybody and then thinking everybody likes you. That's not the way he goes. So he should have understood, having been the Accountant General of Rivers State before he came on board. So he knows, he should have been able to understand the dynamics of what goes on. And Rivers in particular is a very unique state. It's been volatile all along since 1999. There is no governor in Rivers who had not had a major challenge from Odili until even Nyesom Wike and Amechi. It's been like that. Syria betrayal after betrayal. So you should have understood that his tenure was not going to be an easy ride, particularly dealing with the person of Nyesom Wike.
Maybe because you could give him the excuse that he's not a homegrown politician.
Yeah, that's one thing. But again, his disposition, portrays some calm, some peace, some level of confidence.
Maybe he has been assured of something.
So he's hoping
so
that
confident.
He's going to get back into power.
Okay.
And of course, we're also hearing filters here and there about moves to resolve the issue, and of course him going to the opposition party, to the main party, to the ruling party, in order to be able to stabilize his grip on power in the state.
Like I asked, it is not who will lead the PDP to the 2027 polls, but rather, who will save PDP at the moment?
That's a big question. It's a $1 million question, because PDP, as it's currently constituted, do not have men whose voices can resound reasoning in that party as we speak.
Wow.
Or if you have them, they are not. The Wike and his men have sent them packing from the party. So as we speak, the loudest voice in PDP is the Wike faction.
All right, a former National Deputy Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Prince Diron Deyemi, has threatened a recall process against Honorable Wole Oke, a 5-time member of the House of Representatives representing Ijesha North, consisting of Obokun and Oriade Federal Constituency, following his defection to the All Progressives Congress, the APC. Oke finally served severe ties with the PDP in a letter dated April 16, 2025, addressed to his party's Ward 7 chairman in Obokun local government area in Osun State, ending his long-standing affiliation with the PDP. Oke claimed the PDP no longer possessed the political strength to win elections in his constituency. He further criticized key political appointees under Governor Ademola Adeleke, describing them as lacking both political relevance and financial capacity. Reacting to Oke's resignation and comments, Prince Odeyemi, in a public statement, challenged the lawmaker to resign his seat and face a fresh election under the APC to validate his popularity. Joining me now on the agenda from Osogbo, the Osun State capital, is Prince Diran Odeyemi. He's joining us via Zoom this morning. Prince Diran Odeyemi, good morning. Good to have you on the agenda this morning.
Good morning. I'm happy to join you this morning.
Thank you. Right, let's delve into the discussion, Prince. You are a prominent member of your party, the PDP, and now you losing prominent members again of your party to the opposite, to the ruling party. As a former National Deputy Publicity Secretary of the party, are you not worried about the recent trend? What is the party doing to mitigate these defections? And what is the party doing to keep those remaining in the party?
Thank you very much for the question. Regarding Honorable Oluwole Oke, Oluwole Oke is from my local government. While he is in Ward 7, I'm in Ward 1. And we are talking of politics in Osun State. The concentration of political power or big bit is Obokun. In Obokun local government, we have never lost election to APC right from the inception. And that is why Oluwole Oke has always won its election in that local government. Not only that, it is from that local government that we have the Senator Francis Adenigba-Fadam. It is from that local government that we have the House of Assembly. It is from that local government that we have the commissioner. So when you are talking of politics in Osun State, Obokun is number one. After elections in Nede, where the governor comes from, Obokun always bring the largest vote. Now, looking at why Wole Oke left or resigned his membership from PDP, it is selfish, it is greediness, it is out of, inappreciation of what the local government people has done for you. Here is somebody who has been elected unopposed. Unopposed. We have never conducted any primary election in that local government. We always give it to him. Simply because we believe that being a ranking member in the red, if the opportunity comes to elect him as a speaker, of course we are bound to enjoy more having him as speaker of the red than ordinary member. So we always encourage new members from going into the red because we were looking forward to when PDP will win at national level, and perhaps they'll be looking for a Southerner or a Western, somebody from the Southwest to be the speaker. That was why we always elect. But this time around, we realized that PDP is not well prepared to take over the leadership at the national level. And there have been young prominent people who have been coming up to say, yes, enough is enough. Let's have a vibrant young person to contest. And the party in their wisdom decided, this time around, we are going to have a primary election. If you win the primary, then you can go for the sixth time. But if you lose, then so be it. But Oluwole is afraid of losing the primary because they have seen the indices and the indications that virtually all the people that were supporting him before were no longer ready to tell him, to pretend. They told him to his face, enough is enough. It was what he saw as what would be the outcome of the primary election that made him to go to APC, thinking that going to APC, he was going to get the ticket. We see that as greediness. Because if you have been in the race for 5th consecutive, almost 20 years, the children born when you started your political career have now grown up and started voting again. We think you should be satisfied. What is wrong with staying put just for 4 years? But Oluwole belongs to people who believe that any government power, then he doesn't want to be out of government or out of power at any point in time. And 2006 is our next election, or 2007, he is going to see the result. So we are not bothered. All other reasons he tendered for resigning his membership of the party.
Prince Odeyemi, what you just said now, you're saying that he left the party because the party wants now to go into primaries to elect who represent them after he has spent 5 terms of 20 years as a member of the House of Representatives. However, Oke is claiming that the PDP no longer possessed the political strength to win elections in his constituency. How true is this?
I've just analyzed simple thing to you now. Okay, we not both cast 2 votes at the same time. It will only cast a vote in the Ward 7 in SLK. I will be in the Bokun. Senator Fadansi will be in the Lase. Commissioner Mayowa Adejori will be in the Kinyiwa. We have consortium of leaders in Obokun. And of all these leaders, Wole Oke is the only one that has left the party. Well, let us wait for the outcome. If he now says, yeah, PDP cannot win election in Obokun, what are the indices? What are the basics? So, you see, when you want to leave, it's always good to give a dog a bad name so as to hand. That is his own postulation. That is his own calculation. But the reality we done on him when election comes.
Are you saying that because you released a statement recently and you said you'll be suing him if you'll be championing a recall process if he defects to the APC? Was that a threat, or is just something that is morally right or legally right to do?
You see, it's only because Nigerians have not tested the law. During the election, there is nobody's name on the ballot paper. It is the symbol of the party that you don't print, and it is what the INEC will count as the vote belonging to the party, not to an individual. If you now say you are resigning, then and you are saying we cannot win election in Obokun again, we are not challenging you. Let's put it to a test. Resign, because you cannot take our vote to APC. Resign, and if you don't do that, we will have to test the law. We will go to court and seek the. We will now go to court and ask him to relinquish our vote. The laws are there. We have been advised by the legal department of the party. Well, there is nothing wrong in going to the court or to test what really is going to be the outcome. So, and if he is so sure that PDP cannot win the election in Obokun, this is the right time for us to test it, to put it to test. Resign, come and contest under APC, and let us see what's going to happen. It's a simple thing. It's a challenge. And if he fails to take up the challenge, of course we take him to court. We are only waiting for him to declare publicly or on the floor of the House at the representative chamber that he has now crossed over. And we are waiting for the day APC will formally accept him. His letter of resignation is what we see. He has not officially come to APC. And that's what he's holding on.
All right. Now, talking about this resignation and the defections, you seem to be losing prominent members of your party, the PDP, to the ruling All Progressives Congress. As a former National Deputy Publicity Secretary of the PDP. Are you not worried about this recent trend? And then, what is the party doing to mitigate these defections? And also, what are you doing as a party to keep the remaining people in the party?
Are you particular about Osun State or national?
I'm looking at the national now.
Oh, national, yes. Now, rather than look at it in a negative way against PDP, why not take an holistic view of people sleeping at PDP overnight and waking up to become APC tomorrow? I have 3 questions for them. Number 1, in whose interest are they decamping or are they changing camp? In whose interest? It's in their personal interest. It's because they want to go and contest elections, realizing that they cannot win the primary election, in the party. That's 1. 2, some are crossing over, believing that they have sinned, and the moment you cross over to APC, your sins will be forgiven. It may be EFCC cases, it may be 1 or 2 things, one or something, that is not known to us. Because you cannot imagine somebody who was a candidate of the party and chosen as the vice presidential candidate, decamping to APC. What it tells us is that there wasn't any background check before he was elected. Then the third thing is, to what extent is this decamping helping our democracy in Nigeria? What is the base? Where is the principle? Where is the logic? And politics is a game of numbers, I agree. But 2 + 2 in mathematics may be 4, but in politics it's not like that. This thing is seasonal. What you are seeing now, that people decamping from PDP to APC are seasonal. It's very seasonal. Very soon, before 2027 election, you will see some other people from APC crossing over to PDP when they go there and they don't meet their aspiration. So it's like a football season. You sell assets, you sell liability, you buy assets. At the right time, when PDP gets acts together, you will see more people crossing from one party to the other. But I personally, as a politician, and who look forward to a brighter democracy in Nigeria, I don't support people moving from one party to the other. But in PDP, as you will rightly know, virtually all the stakeholders are in a Bauchi meeting over the way forward for PDP. Let's hope something tangible will come up from there. But PDP remains a brand. It will never die.
Well, you say it remains a brand that would never die. However, I still want to ask again. Well, maybe not ask, but still worried about the survival of one of the biggest party in modern day Nigeria. Well, some will say, like I said earlier in my introduction, I said it is not who will lead the party to the 2027 polls, but who will save the party. Do you agree with me that the party is in crisis at this time?
Which political party in Nigeria is not in crisis? Really, even the APC that you see people rushing to, they are in crisis. They have one crisis or the other. So crisis will always happen in any political party. It is the management of that crisis that strengthens the political party. So we are in crisis, I agree, just like any other political party.
All right, so you're saying that after the meeting in Bauchi yesterday, it was somewhat some feeling there in Bauchi when former governor and now the FCT minister Nyesom Wike walked into the meeting there, the venue, and it was some fanfare yesterday. Now, I speaking with Lady Layinka last week, he is saying that the party is in deep crisis in the sense that there is no national secretary of the party. So who will sign the forms if it is time for elections now? You know, resolving the issue of this faction of secretary of the party, this faction of the secretary of the party. You have held a similar position, even as the deputy national secretary of the party. Will your party overcome this and eventually settle? What if it doesn't settle this rift now? What will be the fate of your party come 2027? You might say it's too early, but in politics, they say 24 hours is a long day. But politicking has started for 2027. Will your party be the cat with 9 lives, or will it eventually turn the rat that will be chased out of the hole?
While you are asking your question, you are sitting and reading my mind because you have already answered. We are not, the issue of secretary, we are not signing any document to INEC or whatever tomorrow. It is 2010. We are 2005. 24 hours is a long time in politics. And part of the effort to resolve the crisis is what the governors and stakeholders are doing right now. So we have a long time to resolve the issue. It will be resolved. It will be resolved. So in as much as we are not signing any document with INEC tomorrow, the issue of secretary, let's push it aside. Don't forget that we are going to have our national convention very soon. The present National Working Committee term we had latest by December. Latest. So we are going to have an election. Forget about the crisis about who is secretary or who is not secretary. The new secretary will have to come in by December. So that solves the problem, and that answers the question.
All right, Ed, we'll go on a break now. Please just hold on to the line. We'll go on a break now, and when we come back, more talking points on the PDP. John Izuchukwu is also here in the studio. Stick around. Don't go away. Welcome back from that break. Well, we still have on the line from Osun State there, Prince Diron Odemi, former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. Well, John Izuchukwu is also here in the studio. John, you've been listening to Prince Diron Odemi, who is still on the line. I know you have 1 or 2 questions to ask him.
Yes. Prince, good morning. My concern is that the PDP, having led, Nigeria for 16 years, what would you tell Nigerians the PDP will do differently? Because recently, more younger Nigerians are disenchanted with the political narrative of both the PDP and the APC. So, at the moment, it seems as if the 2 major political parties are not really doing anything very different. Looking at the economic condition of Nigeria, infrastructure, and even the recent, way Nigerians have been attacked. So what exactly will the PDP do differently if it comes into power? Because as we speak, we are eager to have an opposition party that is strong, that can defend democracy, and PDP has not done that. That's 1. 2, can you say your party is a strong opposition, considering what Lai Mohammed did, as the APC spokesperson against the PDP while the PDP was in power?
Thank you very much. When you are talking of opposition in Nigeria, it depends on the perspective through which you are looking at it. If you are measuring opposition in line of what Lai Mohammed did, then we have to ask ourselves some questions. Is opposition against a government about lying to the people? Is playing the role of opposition about deceiving Nigeria, is playing the oppositional role about organizing crisis, riot here and there. We don't have to toe that line. And I can assure you that if you are saying PDP is not playing the role of opposition, Nigerians who are suffering, who could not afford food on their table, whose infrastructure are decayed in their presence, and we form the bulk of opposition that we elect whoever in 2027. It's not about PDP. Forget about PDP. What's the difference between PDP and APC? I asked this question. What's the difference between the two? They are both like a ladder through everybody is climbing to get to the top and to get to the office. I am a journalist. I find myself in politics, through appointment. But I am very realistic. Nigerians are not getting it right. And we are all guilty of this. When I say we are all guilty of this, we are all guilty. The press have not helped by propagating or arrogating much power to who is powerless politically. The traditional institution gives chieftaincy title to people who should even be condemned in society. The electorates are taking 5,000, 10,000 to cast their vote. The INEC are getting money or throwing the bad.
Hello, we're still trying to connect with Prince Diron Odeyemi there. Hello, Prince Diron Odeyemi, are you still there? Okay. We'll try to establish connection with Prince Diron Odeyemi there. Well,
okay, he made some very serious, remarks now.
Okay.
For instance, saying that electorates take money from politicians, but of course, someone has to give for someone to take. So it's actually not the fault of the electorate most of the time. Just like what's happening today. You're impoverishing the people and expecting that the people will not, take their hands out eventually. So, and again, propaganda is a tool in politics. So I think that if Lai Mohammed used propaganda against the PDP, why the PDP is not doing the same? Because you realize that Lai Mohammed bombarded the atmosphere, bombarded Nigerians with several stories. They may not be true, but those stories actually, created some narratives, and eventually, the opposition party now clinched power from the ruling party, the PDP at the time.
Well, let's go on this break, and we'll be back in a bit. Stick around, don't go away. All right, welcome back from that break. Still the agenda on Dominion Brokers Group, and we've established connection again with Prince Diron Odeyemi. Prince, welcome back again. Quick one. Mr. President has succeeded in okay, before I go to the next question, my colleague here, John Izuchukwu, asked you a question earlier, which we were reacting to before we lost that connection, but we are back again. You want to land with your thoughts on what you started with?
So what I said is, in summary, is that when you are looking for the PDP, if you want to tag PDP as opposition, I can conveniently tell you that the whole citizen of Nigeria have become opposition against a bad government. So you don't have to look for one political party to say, yes, you must play a role or you must leave. People who are hungry knows within themselves that they have to redefine their destiny in 2027. So you don't need PDP to alert you or to remind you that you are not feeling well, to know that you are hungry. So that's my submission on that.
All right, Mr. President has succeeded in courting the governors in the South-South, except for Governor Doye Diri of Bayelsa State. He's looking to have the Southeast governors in his kitty ahead of the 2027 general elections, where you could call it a political strategy. In the Southwest, your principal, Governor Jackson Ademola Adeleke of Osun State, and then your state counterpart, Seyi Makinde, are still in the PDP. Now the question is, would your principal bow to pressure at the end by joining the ruling All Progressives Congress? Your thoughts on this?
Please take it to the bank and mark my word for this. Ademola Adeleke is not joining APC. He remains the PDP. He's doing well in Osun. The people of Osun love him, and he will contest and win that election into next year, 2026. So he's not joining APC.
So you're saying your principal is not joining the All Progressives Congress?
No, not at all.
In politics,
not at all.
In politics, you can never tell. Never say never in politics. Prince Rodemi.
We have our calculation. We have our own strategy. On what basis will he now say he wants to join APC? Not true. What for? What's the reason? Who are the people who are there for him to join?
So the permutation, Prince Rodemi, is that he rides on the auspices of the PDP to going into the election next year. The election in Osun State is next year, 2026, anytime in July next year, hopefully. And then he wins the election under the PDP. He has nothing to lose again. He's been senator, and then he's governor. If he wins, that will make him a two-term governor in Osun State. And then maybe jump ship, bow to pressure ahead of the 2027 elections. Well, we've been seeing billboards in Osun State with your principal, the governor, the executive governor, Jackson Adeleke, endorsing the president. That's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, are these permutations what may transpire? Or you're still saying that I should go to Prince Rodemi's bank to say, yes, Governor Nuruddin Jackson Adeleke would not jump ship?
You see, we normally have our strategic meetings and we review issues, and we conduct a kind of investigation about what goes on around us in government. There is no basis, no reason for us to say we want to go to APC. We remain in PDP. We are going to contest under PDP, and we are going to win the election. When it comes to presidential election, that's if. When we get to the presidential election, we know what to do at that stage. Okay.
John, you want to go ahead to ask your question?
Yes, Prince, thank you, sir. You already said in your opening speech at that time that the PDP is not prepared to clinch election, in the forthcoming election. So does that suggest now that the PDP is actually, giving way for the APC to continue? Since in your own words, the PDP is not prepared to win election at the national level.
I want you to take note of that word. 24 hours in politics is a long time. There is no crisis that is beyond resolution. if we are able to resolve our crisis, of course, we will come up and speak with one voice about who is going to flag the flag of the party. Until we get there, right now we are in crisis, and I don't deceive myself. I can't deceive Nigerians, on here and say yes, all is well. All is not well. But as soon as we are able to overcome this crisis, as soon as we are able to go strategically about how to win election in 2027, for us that we resolve our crisis. That is the situation we are.
All right, talking about.
That is never an indication that.
Go ahead, Prince. Go ahead,
Prince. To have a candidate in 2027. Of course, we are.
Hello, Prince Diron Odeyemi. Are you there? Okay. Well, I wanted to ask him if what pillar are they on in the PDP, especially when it comes to the Osun State PDP house family? Are they on the side of Wike or are they on the side of Atiku Abubakar? Because at the end of the day, the party seems to be in disarray at the moment. Then are we saying that, Prince Diron Odeyemi is back online? Okay, Prince, now you've made your point, you've made your stand on this. However, I still want to put it to you, sir. What faction of the PDP do you belong to? Is it the Atiku faction or is it the Wike faction? It might sound funny.
I'm one of the people who believe that Atiku should go and rest.
Okay.
I'm one of the people who believe that Atiku should play fatherly role in Nigeria, not only in the party.
Okay.
Now, you should just tell Nigerians that it's no longer interested in, the presidential ambition or whatever again.
Are you trying to relegate Atiku to being the BOT chairman of the party instead of contesting presidential election?
It's not a relegation, it's a promotion. If you are a BOT chairman of the party, you are in charge, you are in control, but not to contest for the presidential election again in Nigeria.
So now, is your party going to adopt the zoning system, or do you want to wait for the APC before you take your decision as a party?
In fact, we are in.
Okay, we're still trying to balance things up, getting to Prince Diron Odeyemi there. Well, I hope he gets back on track very soon, so we get connected to him at the moment. All right, John, well, very interesting. Well, he would answer as a politician, but before he came back on, we're talking about some issue about the PDP and the Atiku Abubakar saga. But he is just mentioning now that Atiku should rest. Atiku has been politically unfortunate to being the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In 1993, he stepped down for MKO Abiola to clinch the ticket of the Social Democratic Party. He became vice president in 1999 to Olusegun Obasanjo. And then, moving forward, he has been serially contesting to become president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but to no avail. Is it time for him to just go rest?
I'm also one of those who believe he should step aside. I mean, age-wise, doesn't have the comparative advantage anymore. And he's been blessed by Nigeria. Those are guys who should be grateful to Nigeria.
I mean, grateful to Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Okay.
I mean, what did they do? 8 years in government as vice president. I mean, that's a lot. Chike, that's a lot. I mean, you can't tell Nigeria's history without him. Those were the guys who, pioneered the democracy in the Fourth Republic, himself and Obasanjo. So he's a blessed man. I think that, you see, contentment is a great virtue. You should go and rest. Mentor younger people to, come on board, rebuild and redefine PDP ideology. to accommodate the recent happenings in the country.
All right, Prince Diron Odeyemi is back online as we go to the final stage. Prince Diron Odeyemi, you were talking about Atiku Abubakar. Welcome back once again. You were talking about Atiku Abubakar just going to rest. Yes, just finish up on your thoughts there.
Yes, I think the other man spoke my mind. Atiku has done well for himself and for Nigeria. He should just go and rest. And allow young elements, to come out, both in PDP and Nigeria. That's just it.
All right, let's leave politics now. You are presently the Chairman Governing Council, Osun State College of Education, SRK, in Osun State. Are you not concerned about
College of Technology?
Technology, yeah, College of Technology, SRK. Are you not concerned about the educational state in the country at the moment under this administration?
Well, we are not doing badly in education. We are not doing badly. And I want to believe that the federal government is trying its best in funding education. It now depends on, all of the other components of education, that is the lecturer, the administrator, and the staff, to ensure that, this education becomes quality.
When you say we're not doing badly in education as a country, do you also look at people who have been the Japa syndrome, traveling out of the country to get education outside the country, and then Prince Diron Odeyemi saying that we're not doing badly in education in Nigeria?
Japa syndrome and education are not the same.
Yeah, many people have been doing the Japa thing to go school abroad.
No, people are just using that. They are just using that as an excuse to travel abroad. Nothing more than that. Oh. Since education became the only way through which you can get your visa, either to America, to UK, or anywhere. So that is why they are paying so much to go, the excuse that they want to go and study. Not that Nigeria education is so bad and they want to go abroad and study. No. Japa is quite different.
If the Nigerian education system, if the Nigerian education system was valuable enough, many people will not be using education as a means of going outside the country, as it were. So the value we place on education, the priority government places on education, should be checked in. Or do you think the government is doing so well? Or would you rate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration when it comes to education as scoring above average?
It's the same question and it's the same answer. It's going abroad, by the present crop of people they are only going there because they want to use that education as a means to get visa. They want to leave the country. That is just it. It has got nothing to do with education in Nigeria. People go to UI, they go to Unilife, they go everywhere to acquire knowledge and to come up with good certificates. And Nigerian education is being rated, higher abroad. It's being recognized. As certificates are recognized. So we are not doing badly in education in Nigeria to such an extent that people will now say we want to leave Nigeria because we want to get better education. No. Rather, they are using that education as a leeway to get a visa to leave the country. When they get there, not many of them go to that school again. They only paid for the tuition. And when they get there, they divert, their attention to other things. They work, earn their living, and make their life. So it's not about education at all.
Okay, Prince Diron Odeyemi, yeah, we just have to go now. However, before we leave, we'll be keeping tabs on the events in Bauchi at the moment, and hopefully we should also get some feedback from there, and hopefully get you back very soon, just to react on the outcome, possible outcome of the stakeholders meeting of the PDP in Bauchi State. All right, thank you for featuring on the agenda this morning, Prince Diron Odeyemi. Yes, Prince Diron Odeyemi is the former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. Okay, let's keep, John, your final thoughts this morning before we leave.
Well, do whatever you need to do to contribute your part to the development of Nigeria, no matter the case.
No matter the case. All right, let's keep the conversation going. Do follow us on all our social media platforms. The handle is at Dominion Broadcast on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, and on Instagram. On the app X, it is at Dominion Cast. My name is Chike Ubogu. Do have a great day and a great week ahead. Stay safe. Bye for now.